Well, fucking Fleury, how's the form, my friend? Thank you very much for coming on the podcast. What's the crack?
Oh, all good, mate. Yeah, fucking excited now. Ready to get in and whoop some ass.
It's nearly time. I was just saying to you there, it's mad because I interviewed you, I think it was 1 year ago to the day exactly. You were going to fight Carlos
Yeah,
Vermola, sorry. What a fight that was. His head was fucking indestructible that night. It was crazy.
yeah, yeah. I don't know what I had to do to put him away, but I didn't do it in the end. So, fair
I
fucks to him.
don't, I don't think anyone could have put that man away that night. You're fighting Martin Buday this time, December 28th in Prague, Czech Republic. It's going to be a good one. I'm going to kick off. You've been at Manchester this week, have you? Training in Manchester top team. What's the crack there? Are you staying out there long?
Yeah, I've just been here for the week. So I came on Tuesday morning. We sparred Tuesday morning. And I'd like, look, right now in Ireland, I only have Carl Moore and Mohammed Al to like, yeah, Carl obviously, big lad, grappling, more like our big lad in the MMA scene. But um, over here, a lot of bigger lads. Atiba mostly this week, like, and
He's
Abraham
an
Adley.
animal, isn't he?
Oh, he's a beast, yeah. No, like you got to keep your P's and Q's around him, like, because
How's it?
he's,
How's he a middleweight? Like even seeing him compared, like standing beside you, that's fighting at heavyweight. I am
he's
like, how
basically the same
is
fucking size as me this week. You know, I'm 107, I think he's 104 or whatever, but like, yeah, he's fucking huge,
that's mental. He
no
must have a tough weight cut.
doubt. But basically, yeah, overtraining with a few bigger lads. I'm getting a bit of a different look because, like, myself and Carl know each other inside out, and like all the boys in SPG, I'll be well used to, if you know what I mean. So it's more just different bodies, different looks, and even like Carl Prince's coaching. Like getting Carl's insight on things is always a massive benefit to me. Like I've been over here twice now, and both times I'm just like, wow, fuck. He gives a shit, like, and he really pushes you, like, and he kind of like he doesn't just push you physically, like he has you paying attention to your technique all the time. You know, like you're much more. It's drilled into you, like where your feet, where like what's your intention behind this shot? What are you setting up with that? Like you're kind of thinking about the fight a lot more tactically while you're over here. I find.
Is this something you're planning on doing more in the future? You obviously mentioned you've been over at Manchester before, but are you going to continue
Yeah,
doing this?
oh yeah, I'd like to. All right, yeah, and like, look, it just depends. Like, who knows how MMA careers go, if you know what I mean. So it depends what promotion I end up in or what happens long term. But like, yeah, I'd love to be, coming over training with these lads. They're great lads. Like,
Yeah, I suppose it's the joys of being a big lad too. There's not just as many bodies hanging
you
about
have to
Dublin.
travel to find each other. So like, I'm willing to travel these days. Like that's the thing, and like I've adapted that attitude of like, if I'm going to be getting high level training in all the time, it's not always going to be in Dublin. I'm going to have to be moving around.
Yeah, exactly, exactly. Last time we spoke, as I said, was this time last year. We spoke about how you were going to not miss Christmas, but you were fighting on December the 29th last year. It mustn't have been that bad because I think you said to me you don't mind doing it this year. It's all
Yeah.
for the fight game, but you mustn't have minded it that bad if you're going to do it again.
Yeah, but this year's even better because I can have me Christmas dinner, so it's a heavyweight fight. And there's no weight cut. Like last year, Christmas was kind of cool because it was intense. It was like I went in, trained at the gym that morning, went home, had two slices of turkey and a bit of Brussels sprouts, and went for a walk, and then came back in later that night and trained again. So it was actually a pretty cool Christmas day. But this year, sure, I think I'm going to be able to eat a good bit more, and because of not having to do the weight cut, I'll probably just go in and do a bit of sharp pad work and keep the engine revved a bit. But like I don't have to do that too intense.
Yeah, of course, of course. This is your longest break since signing with Octagon. You
Yeah,
haven't
yeah.
fought since March. Was that intentional?
I broke my hand in the Todd F fight, so I broke my thumb, the same one that I broke in the first fight. Well, I did. I broke the thumb off of Sean Strickland about 2 weeks before my Octagon debut. So I went in and fought with it broken, and then I got it repaired. But it was a basic surgery. It was just like the two pins to push the thumb back into place. The first time, it never quite healed the way it should have healed. So then in that Todd F fight, I think in the first round I just threw an overhand. And basically what happened was I smashed up all the bits of callus and the bone around there. But what happened, like when I went into, so I went to the same place, to the hospital that I was got the first surgery in. And when I went back in, they were like, we can't do that again because your thumb bone is fucked now. Um, so then I had about a month of not knowing what the fuck I was going to do. And they were talking about fusing the joint, all this type of thing. Turned out one of the best hand surgeons in Europe is in Prague. And Octagon put me in touch with him. he said like I haven't really done this before, but he kind of came up with this surgery to remove most of the bottom part of my thumb and do a bone graft into that. So he had to do that. So I went over there early April and had the surgery there and got like a piece of bone taken out of my radius as well. So they took a little bit of bone out of the radius and put it into the bottom of my thumb, pinned that all in, and then immobilized it for about 6 weeks. And then I was able to get like the thing is the mobility was shit once I got out of the cast, but it was a big surgery and it was kind of a complicated surgery, but I was actually grand 3 months afterwards. So I had that done in April. I was back training hitting pads by July. And I was ready to fight again by September. And I was pushing Octagon 4 fights since September. And then because there's so many fucking pussies in the light heavyweight division, and all these Germans think that they have a fucking show no matter what, they don't have to fight anyone who'll beat the shit out of them like I will. I basically spent the year threatening pussies with fights, and they were running away. Um, so it's been a frustrating period up until when I showed up, and he's obviously taking it because he's 30 fucking kilos bigger than me. So yeah,
Yeah, I'm glad the hand surgery went well, and that's crazy. 12 weeks. I thought you would have been out a lot longer than that after
well, like
after
because
getting
it's a
surgery on
small
one of
piece
your
of
main
bone,
weapons.
and like part of it is like it's a balls because it's such a small piece of bone, but it also heals a little bit quicker because it is a way smaller piece of bone. But it was just like the location of it was a dose. So if I didn't get that bone in the right shape, my whole thumb wouldn't really work. But the actual bone graft itself, the scar is big enough, but like the piece of bone that went in there is quite small. So it knits together pretty quickly, and they had it all pinned in and stuff as well. So then back in, I think it was early June, I had to do another one where they took out a couple of the pins that were pinning it in. And then I had another 3 weeks of just keeping it fairly immobilized. And then I was back to pretty much not full training, but like decent level of training pretty quickly.
How did you
Um,
find not having a date set? Because you've been constant. Obviously, the two title wins in close succession, but even before that, on the build up to that, like you were flat out ever since joining Octagon.
yeah,
Was there kind of some positives that came from maybe putting the feet up for a couple of months, or were you just raring to
like
go again?
I'll be honest, I was bollocks after that Tata fight because it was a really tough fight. Like I was glad to have a bit of a break.
Hmm.
Um, but once I got out of the cast and once the hand was back moving, I was like, cool, I'm ready to go. Let's gear up, let's go for camp, and let's get a fight lined up. And then it was pretty frustrating. Like I was more frustrated by that than, the surgery and all that type of thing. I was like, okay, I have to go and deal with this injury. I went and dealt with it. And it's like, well, now I'm back. I'm 36 years old and I'm clearly in my prime. Let's make the most of this window. And I felt no desire on Octagon's behalf to make the most of that window. And in fact, it mattered like here's this incredible fighter, this fucking double champ guy who's gone out and done amazing shit. It was like, oh, we have some German lad who looks a bit fucking weird and held on to his leg, and we'll promote the fuck out of him instead. So like, there's a bitterness on my behalf because of that, and I'm there to show it. Like, look, okay, you give me any high level fight with a guy like Buday, guy who's 7-1 in UFC, 30 fucking kilos bigger than me, I'm still gonna go in there and smash that cunt, and you can't deny how fucking class I am. So yeah, that's what I'm here to do, basically. You know?
Definitely
And
your hardest fight yet, would you say?
the Tata fight, yeah, or
Yeah,
the Buday fight.
the Bidet fight.
Um,
Yeah.
if you go about it the wrong way, it could be, but I feel like there's windows to win that fight, and
Mhm.
like there's definitely look, he's a huge man. And if you look at the level of him, he's 7-1 in UFC. There's things that like he's achieved that other guys that fought haven't. I'll be honest, I'm not intimidated by that at all. I feel like as long as I fight the right way, I can make this a not easy fight, but a fight that I can win convincingly and a fight that I can control the pace throughout the fight. Um, we'll find out about that on the night, but I'm very well prepared to go in and do that right now. And it's kind of like he's a massive opportunity to go and show the level I'm at, is how I feel. So I was delighted when this fight got made, but I'm also like, after I beat this guy, and look, cross that bridge when you get to it, but there's a sense of once I beat this lad, what the fuck is next?
Mhm.
Because none of those German pussies are ever going to fucking fight me. They've done their absolute best to run. So, like, I wonder where this goes because I have another fight left on my contract after that, but let's see.
This is a fight where you really can prove the level that you can operate at. As you say, Budai's 7-1 UFC wins over like Andre or Arlovsky. he obviously held the heavyweight title with Octagon, left Dana White's Contender Series, the UFC, and he's now coming back. Is there part of you that's sort of like, fuck you, this is my division,
Yeah,
I hold this title now? The way he's come back in his first fight
yeah,
back
yeah.
in the organization, he's getting a shot at the title that he vacated to go to another organization.
Oh, look, this thing is like the whole buzz they're putting around this is Martin Buday coming back to reclaim his title. You know, that's what the narrative of this fight has been from their point of view. And I'm like, ha 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 ha. Ye fucking stupid cunts are doubting me again. So they'll find out on December 28th what's going to happen. And it'll be very satisfying on my end to just be like, yeah, you thought you could fuck me, did you? Watch.
It is interesting that like there's not many double champions in top organizations. Like what Octagon is doing, they're very quickly becoming the top European MMA promotion. But like, why are they not shouting about the fact they've got an Irish double champ? I think you and I both know the reason. It's because obviously they're Eastern European and everything
Yeah,
else. But
so they're not looking at the invest in the Irish market and whatever. And look, like, I understand that to a degree. The business side of it, I get. And they're doing an incredible job promoting fights, in fairness. So, like, they're doing a lot of things really right. And they've given me a window to make the best of my career. And I appreciate the fuck out of that. Like, and that's huge, right? I suppose the thing is, when you're the best athlete, clearly the best athlete in the promotion, you'd expect a level of respect that I haven't been afforded. Um, and even a level of reverence that I haven't been fucking afforded because I've made it fairly obvious that there's nobody better than me in this whole place. Like Keda was incredible.
Mhm.
Keda's gone to the UFC now. It's like, okay, I'm the guy. I'm your number one pound for pound officially. So why the fuck are you promoting all these other boys like they're the actual shit? And this is just some random Irish lad that you have. No, no, clearly I'm the most skilled cunt in the division. Not even in the division, in the fucking promotion. So look, maybe I need that little bit of bitterness to keep me motivated, and it does. It makes me like, okay, okay, cool. You think I'm this? Watch what I am, and yeah, maybe it's something I need for myself a little bit as well. That bitterness.
what about Frédéric Vosgröne? What is the latest update with him? Is that fight just not happening because he's faced
No, so
off
he's
and
gone. He's gone to an 87. Look, he's doing an 87 kilo catch weight now. So the guy's hunting me down by moving down the division. You know, it's fucking pathetic, man. And even like, here's the thing. This is why I get pissy about this. I have German fans messaging me like on fucking Instagram every day, telling me he's gonna take my legs home and that like he will smash me. It's like, could this lad have made it more obvious he's a pussy? Like the amount of times I've said shit about him on this, like called him out and tagged him in post for him, called him a pussy, and he doesn't respond at all. And even like he was giving Dennis Frimpong shit after he lost. And I was like, I'm going to call you a pussy and you're going to say nothing. And he said literally nothing. He just didn't comment on anything after that. You know?
was there a
Like,
plan to make that fight? Because obviously you did do a face off.
yeah. Like, so, well, he called, here's the thing. He didn't think I was there. He didn't know I was backstage that night. So he was like, Will Fleury, is that enough for you? And I legged it up into the cage. So I was cornering backstage and like, I was just like, oh, nice one. This is my time. Um, And then, like, you can see his body language just since I get in the cage. He's a little bit uncomfortable. Now, that was before I got, like, that was in the period in between the Todd F fight and the hand surgery. So I think he was like, oh, I still have a bit of time. But then I was back from the hand surgery a bit quicker. So then I called him out for the clone card. And he was like, oh, we can do it, but I need to get paid properly. Now, number one, do you think I give a fuck what the purse was when I was fighting Carlos? No, Carlos was the opportunity to make my career. You started this by calling me out. You made your fucking call out video when you signed. Like I did when I signed, I was like, Carlos, we all know this ends with you. But he was like, Fleury, I'm hunting you down. I'm coming for you, blah, blah. And then after his first fight, he was like, Fleury, is that enough for you? So I jumped in the cage and I was like, yeah, that's pretty good, mate. Keep it going. We'll see how it goes. And then he pulled out of the fucking fight after that. So then I was like, okay, mate, you haven't like done the work here, but I don't have anybody else who I can fight because Popic, the other fucking pussy, was being a pussy. The guy who was number one contender decided he didn't want to fight, and he's moved down the division as well. So out of the top five, I've beaten three of them, and the other two have moved down the division. Yeah.
It's
So
uh, it's
look,
definitely a weird position that you do find yourself in, and
yeah, no, look.
especially
The thing is, all of those boys have fought in a period where I haven't. So during that period that I was talking about, all them anybody who's active as a fighter, because Attila and like Vermola and Attila are no longer active. But everybody else who was active has fought during that period. But I, because I was willing and because nobody was willing to fight me, it's like, nah, fucking leave Fleury off.
Was Martin Buday due to come back anyway, or is he coming back because there was no one else to fight you?
Like, look, once he got not signed by the UFC, it was whether or not Octagon could sign him. Because as soon as I saw that he was being called, I was like, sure, that's a great fight. So I was hoping they would, but they were telling me the PFL were interested, and I just assumed that the PFL would pay more. And then obviously Octagon busted up the fucking money a bit and
He's come
got him
back
in.
for what's his, well.
Yeah, apparently, yeah. So
It
yeah,
is,
I'm
it isn't
surprised they
it.
didn't just give him the belt, to be honest. Like, at least they let me fight him for it.
That's very, very generous of them, isn't it?
Yeah.
You were kind of talking before about, becoming this three-weight world champion. Is that
Yeah.
off the cards? Obviously, if you've got one fight left in your contract after, I suppose you could go down. That's a big weight cut,
Look,
to be
yeah,
fair.
look,
But
here's the thing. In fairness, I asked about that during the summer, and I was told you defend the heavyweight belt, and if there's nobody else, yeah, we'll let you go down. And the two boys have gone down already, so I don't know if they know I'm coming. Like, um, but look, the thing is, there's options. Like, I'm on a very impressive. What is it? A 9-fight win streak. I'm on now. From the PFL into did I fight in between that? No, like PFL into Octagon. Before that, I won the belt out in Abu Dhabi and UAE Warriors. Like, and I think I've been smashing guys pretty impressively recently as well. They're all been exciting and entertaining fights, and I promote the fuck out of the fights. So in the fight game, I have options. I'm only 36 years old, and I feel like I'm very well placed to go and do significant things in the sport. If that's within Octagon, great. If it's not, cool. I'm happy either way. Like I'm pursuing fucking being incredible no matter where I am. So we'll see what happens.
as middleweight genuinely doable with that? I
Yeah,
suppose if you're
yeah.
setting
Like,
up,
look, should
I
look at
suppose if you're
Achieva.
setting at 104, you're fighting at heavyweight, but Martin Buday is going to have a serious weight advantage
Yeah,
over
yeah.
you. So
So like I'm looking at Atiba this week, and I'm like, sure, if he can make middleweight in 2 months, it's gonna take me like 2.5, 3 months to make middleweight.
uh,
Now, like, I wouldn't say it's easy for him to make middleweight, but like he's fighting at the end of January, and he's a big, big lad at the moment, so it's definitely doable. Um, yeah, it's more just is it worth your while doing it? Like, and right now I'm like, look, I'm the heavyweight champ, but I did that because it was an opportunity to go up and win the belt. I now have this incredible opportunity to go and show the level I am by being the guy 30 kilos bigger than me. But my actual, my world class career, like if I'm going to fight the best in the world, I'm doing that at light heavyweight. I'm not deluding myself into thinking like I'm a heavyweight for life type of thing. It's like, no, I was given this opportunity, I've gone and taken this opportunity. But like fighting the rest of my career as a heavyweight isn't something I'm massively fucking about. Like, that's not the end goal. The end goal is to go and show myself as one of the top light heavyweights in the world.
yeah, of course. How do you game plan, or do you game plan differently for someone that's 30 kilos heavier?
Yeah,
Like, have you
I
ever have you ever been in this situation where you have had the game plan for someone?
I've sparred lads who are a lot bigger than me at times. No, they wouldn't quite have the same physique as Martin. Like, like he's kind of got a very big upper back and like kind of quite big lats and a big enough gut on him. But his legs aren't massive. So he's kind of a funny build for a guy of that weight. Now, nothing on him is small. He's a very big dude overall, obviously, but like I feel like I've sparred guys who wouldn't be a million miles away in terms of shape and size. Not as much recently. Like Carl Moore's gone up to about 120 kilo now, so that's been helpful just to get used to a guy who's like heavy coming at you all the time. Um, but like you can watch a lot of the guy and you can figure out a lot by watching the guy and like, mapping out the movements that you want to do in that situation when he starts to come in and when he starts to and even just like his habits in the fight and like what can I do to exploit some of his habits. So I definitely game plan quite a lot. Like, even this fight got made back in August. So there's been a long time to hone in on some of that shit. Like in some ways maybe be too long because you're kind of going like, oh, I could add this and I could add this and I could add this. And you're like, all right. But like the shit you were doing back 2 months ago was probably quite good as well. So go just like the original skill set's probably the shit you should be focusing on.
That's
Um, sorry.
And I suppose that there comes into the fact that, you know, you have been so active of recent that you maybe haven't had the time to really hone in on every specific detail, whereas this time, you know, you have had the time to do that.
Yeah, yeah. No, it's been good in a way. And even like fitness wise, like oh, I'm kind of delighted with the fact that this is a 5 round fight because I know I've developed the tank to go and do that. I've had a long camp and I feel very ready. So that's nice in a way because like I'm not going to be like I'll never be exposed for lack of work, if you know what I mean. Um, but I also quite liked some of the other fights when it was shorter notice because it's just like you get in, you watch a week of the guy, you drill shit for 2 or 3 weeks, and you go in and fight him, and it's like, oh yeah, that worked quite well. Like you feel quite fresh doing that. Whereas sometimes, like I was saying there, when you're drilling something for ages, it gets a bit boring, and then you're starting to drill new things and new things and new things and adding and adding and adding, and then you're like, the shit for the first couple of weeks was probably really the right shit. Like, so just go back to focusing on that. Like,
Yeah, that makes sense. That makes sense. Of course, you've got the one fight left in your contract. Do you see yourself sticking around with Octagon if things change, or like what is the options after?
yeah,
Is the UFC potential PFL?
who knows? Who knows? Yeah. Like I'm a prize fighter, man. That's the thing. I'm a damn good prize fighter. So I want to go out there and claim the biggest prizes there are. And like, I'll be honest, I really enjoy the buzz of the Octagon events. They're class. The
There's
atmosphere is
nothing like
amazing.
them.
Yeah, they are. They're class. Like, and look, I want to like. Here's the thing. I know I haven't been like super positive about a lot of stuff there today, but like, they're a great promotion. They do great work. You know, and I've like, besides like kind of not giving me the shine because I'm an Irish guy, I have a lot of respect for the way they do things. You know, and they're like I would never say they've screwed me over or like they've done, you know, disingenuous things to me or anything like that. They're pretty straight up to deal with too. And the staff behind the scenes are lovely and all the people you deal with on a daily basis are lovely. Like so like they're a great promotion. I like working with them overall. Um if that continues, fantastic. You know, I won't be like put out by that and I won't be like, oh, this is, you know, me taking a second like a backseat for the rest of my career at all. I'm here to do really significant things though. And if they don't really see that as being the way they want to push me, okay, guys, I'm going to have to go somewhere that will push me like that. And obviously, look, as a kid, you're fighting to get into UFC. That's your goal. So we'll see where things go, you know?
It is a shame that it never worked over in this market because, as you say, like
Uh,
see the stadium shows that they are putting on. Like
the atmosphere, man. The atmosphere.
oh,
It's not even,
it seems unreal. See the amount of people that I speak to that cover the sport, and the two things they say go to an Octagon show and go to a BKFC event. That's the two things that always come up, and Octagon especially. Like these here cards they're doing in Eastern Europe, selling out football stadiums, and it's actually crazy because last time I spoke to you in Dublin, you said that you would actually get recognised more in Germany than what you
oh,
would
way
in
more.
Ireland.
Way more. Yeah, like, look, right. I'm like, Germany a bit. Like, as in, I was surprised I was walking around Berlin and a few police officers came over and wanted photos of me and shit. It was mad. Because I saw a cop, like, running across the street to me. I was like, fuck. And they only wanted a photo. Um, but like in Prague, like I was just over in Brno there, like what a month ago. Prague, Brno, anywhere in Czech Republic, fuck, like because it's bigger in the Czech Republic for me because I fought Carlos, so everybody knows Carlos over there. He's like very mainstream, and my poster was up everywhere at the time I was fighting Carlos, and a lot of people would have seen that fight there. So like wherever I go in Czech Republic, like even I have a good story actually about fucking I went to the surgery guy. I got like scanned the first day, and then he had a day in between, and then I was going in for the consultation to get surgery. So the day in between, I went down to do a walking tour in Prague, and the guy like, because I got a few people recognized me walking down through the city, and it was a nice morning, like, and like got a few photos coming in on the way. Just a few lads being like, "Oh, Fleury, can I get a photo with you?" And then when I got to the walking tour, the guy doing it recognized me, and he like walked over, and he didn't know my name, but he's like, "You're the guy who beat Carlos." I was like, "Yeah, yeah." He's like, "Look, mate, we do private tours." And I was like, no, mate, you don't make, I don't make as much money as you think I do. Like, and he was like, "Oh, no, I don't want to be doing this tour and everybody stopping, like, wanting photos the whole time." And I was like, "I don't think it's going to be an issue, to be honest, man." So he was just kind of like, all right, we'll see. And yeah, he was fucking right. I got stopped probably 40 or 50 times while he was talking, like, and people going like, "Oh, can I get a photo?" Blah, blah. Now, that was the center of Prague and that was where all the tourist shit is and all that. So it'd be a very, like, there's lots of people around. But yeah, like it's mad. Over there, I'm very well known, and I suppose like I have a fucking unique enough look and I stand out. But the average person would like even like a mate of mine's going out with a Czech girl, and her dad like found out that my buddy is like mates with her. So your man rings me one of the days and was like, "Will you just say hello to this girl's father for a minute?" Like, and the dad's like, "Oh my god, Fleury," like So that's mad to me, like, because in Ireland, no one gives a fuck. Like,
When
but
you when you made the transition from rugby all them years ago to start MMA, did you ever like imagine that you'd find yourself in positions like that?
no, but like, I did want to be a high level fighter, and I suppose I was watching UFC and being like, "Oh, sure, things are possible." And then obviously everyone saw the rise of Connor and thought, like, "Fuck, lots of things are possible." But I got to a stage in my career where I was like, "Sure, no one's ever going to give a fuck about you fighting, really." Like, So say like when I was 34, like I've broken that hand over in the thing in Vegas. My first show in Octagon was in Birmingham, and there wasn't a huge crowd for that either. So it kind of felt like, this is going to be much. And then when I knocked the lad out in the stadium, when I knocked Langer out in that stadium, and the amount of fans that were around that night, they came over and been like, "Holy fuck!" And. But I kind of thought like that's a once off. You just did this thing in the stadium. It's not going to last. Like, but then when I fought Carlos, even when I went to Slovakia to promote that fight, it was like, whoa, this thing is big over here. And even like what I find mad at, like, I don't exactly like I've what 27K followers on Instagram at the moment, right? Anytime I go there, like say that weekend in Brno, genuinely I probably took about 500-600 photos with people, right? And like got tagged in a load of those stories. And I was like, but none of these guys follow me. It's like you all know who I am, but you don't fucking follow me. So I'm kind of like I'm probably a bit more famous than fucking like got the following for, if you know what I mean. But I'd say it's because I'm an Irish lad. And that's the thing I'm kind of a bit pissy with Octagon about. It's like they've never promoted me as their guy. I'm a foreigner who's come in and done well. It's like, no lads, I committed to you, so commit
Hmm.
back a bit.
Hmm.
And like I don't feel like I've gotten that.
And there is a way of promoting. They could be promoting you as the bad guy, the heel as such,
Fair
but
enough, like
still but still talking about the accomplishments and talking about how good you are
yeah,
and the
yeah.
fact that you're on
It's
this
like
streak.
he's a bad
Like,
guy, but he's shit hot. Like in fairness, he's damn good. Like. So who can we get that'll come in and beat him? But they've never promoted
yeah,
that narrative. It's literally just like, yeah, hopefully this guy, like, hopefully our guy wins.
yeah,
Yeah, no.
yeah. It's definitely an interesting one. It's an interesting one. Finally, well, I'll let you go, but first of all, I want you to give me a prediction for your fight.
Yeah, I think third round TKO. The way I'm feeling it these days, like I've been looking at it a lot recently, and yeah, I think first 2 rounds playful, sharp. Third round, there's opportunities, windows will open up. I think once I start to tag him, I can't finish him. So I'm looking forward
Unreal.
to it. Cheers, man.
Unreal. Well, thank you very much for your time. I hope you have a good Christmas and good luck
Thanks,
on the
man.
fight, my friend.
Cheers. Thanks
Cheers,
for having
mate.
me.